Oh, I need a rescue plan. Well, I needed a rescue plan the other day, and I'm going to tell you about that story shortly. And then I'm going to be talking to you a bit about rescuing and sometimes how we actually do need others to help us, but also how rescuing can get a bit of a bad rap. And so, anyway, this is what happened to me the other day. I was out doing my gardening job and I had finished at a client's place. I was driving home. I went one way, and then I suddenly realised actually it'd be better to go the other route. And so I turned around on the road, and I went around, and I drove up onto the side of the road, and it was dirt, and it was really really wet. I didn't realise it was going to be so wet, and I got stuck. My little truck, my little utility, it got stuck, and I knew that if I kept on trying to get out, I'd just dig myself in even further and further. And so I thought, oh no, oh, this is terrible. It's a quiet country road. So I prayed, God, get me out of this mud, and I planned. I got myself a plan thinking in my head, okay, what can I do? So I remembered I had like a really big tow rope in my ute. I got it out and I hooked it up under my ute, and then I dragged it out to the road, and then I waited for cars to go past, hoping somebody would come past that could pull me out. Anyway, this big truck came along and he pulled over and said, "Sorry, mate, can't do that. Can't do that. I've only got the trailer on. I can't pull you out." Oh, okay. So off he went. And then these cars just kept on going past and just ignoring me. And this other little white car went past, and I waved at them, kind of begging help. And she went past, and then she came back a minute later, and she had a tow bar. And it was only a small little car, but it was actually quite a powerful car. And I explained my situation, and I hooked up the tow rope onto her little car. She pulled me, and I was out of the mud in like 30 seconds of her pulling up. And then I cleaned it all up and sort of and managed to get home. But interesting, we really like to be self-reliant, don't we? But we also, at times, we really do need the help of others. Times when we can't help ourselves. And interestingly, a couple of weeks ago, I had actually done the very same thing in helping somebody else who had got stuck outside the front of my house in some very wet mud. And they weren't going anywhere, and I just went out with my ute and I pulled them out, and it was all good. But look, I don't want to be considered a rescuer, but at times we all need someone else to come alongside of us and create what I call a rescue plan. And I've got this little quote from someone that I used to know. People like me need people like you, and people like you need people like me, Mark Wilde. And it's like the need for others in our community and just strangers to help us when we can't, when we've lost the reserves to actually get ourselves out of the pickle that we get into. Oh, and rescuing gets a bad rap, doesn't it? You see, because tongue in cheek. Next week, I'm going to go back to that very same place and get myself stuck again. And then I will do it the following week too. And then that same lady will drive along with a fancy little white sports car and pull me out. And then, because I've got this sense of entitlement in me that others should rescue me out of the predicaments I get myself into or the predicaments that I just get into. And when others don't, I grow a plum. And what's that? PLOM. A poor little old me in my mouth. Others should rescue me. Others should sort my life out. Others should make things better for me. And it's really actually shifting away from a sense of actually self responsibility and needing others and caring for others appropriately in our community. People get sick and tired of rescuing people who make no effort to change their lives to avoid the need of rescue. Um, but there, There are some people who seem quite okay with rescuing others, or at least helping others to avoid the painful realities of life and problem solve themselves out of them as best they can. They walk on eggshells around them. They never challenge the elephant in the room. Bad habits, addictions, behavior patterns are not problem solved, and so the rescuing and codependency continues on. Portia Nelson wrote a little piece of prose which is really, really good. She says this: Chapter 1 of my life. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It isn't my fault. It still takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe it. I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault, and it still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down a different street. It's very profound, isn't it? It's good. Portia Nelson, there's a hole in my sidewalk. The romance of self-discovery. Look, people fall into holes, and we need a rescue plan to help them out. If they keep doing it, we need to actually address, well, why are you walking down that street? Why are you falling down that hole? Um, One of the familiar illustrations I use when describing the support networks we need is that of a nest. And I've got a nest right here. It's a beautiful nest. I don't know what bird created it, but it's full of strands and moss and all sorts of good things, big stalks of grass. And my nest is comprised of probably thousands of people. Predominantly, it's friends and family and a few specialist type people, like my doctor, um, people who've got specialist skills, my accountant, all those sort of people who've got special, but they're all part of my support network, my nest. And actually, it includes random strangers who just drive up and pull me out of the mess that I'm in at times. But I found that the most important people for me in my life are those that will not rescue me from my choices, the consequences of my choices, but instead they'll kind of help me to create a rescue plan for those times I need them. Um, they don't try to fix me, they don't try to advise me, they don't try to save me, and they definitely don't try and set me straight. Instead, there is a level of pragmatism, a grounded connection to the problem at hand. I see you're stuck in the mud. Let me get my car and we'll pull you out. I'm going to say that you have a nest as well. You have supportive strands of others around you. You are also the strand of someone else's nest. And when in need, you can help them build a rescue plan. I wrote a poem this morning. I need a plan. I need some help. I can't get out, I scream and shout. Internal words batter my soul. Loser, stupid, weary battle brain toll. I go to prayer. What else can I do? Send me some help. Get me out of this goo. My God, provide. On bended knees I pray. Send me some help. My feet in miry clay. Mostly in life I'm self-capable, but there are times when I'm just not able. I raise my hand, I hope someone will see. Help me from this entanglement, I long to be free. I will do what I can. Can you do what you can do? Some other day, it may well be you. A community is formed around my dark place, each doing what they can do. In help from others, there is no disgrace. After I'm out, we'll work out a plan, never ever to venture into that quicksand again. People like me are people like you. At times we find ourselves buried in goo. Hand me a spade, throw me a rope, let's make me a plan, give me some hope. Hey, if you found this helpful in any way, send me an email. It's always good to get encouragements. barry@turningthepage.co.nz. If you find this content helpful, I encourage you to share either the YouTube video that you're watching or the blog post, which there's a link in the profile down below. And also sign up to my email list so you know what's happening. And if you want to support what I'm doing and give a little donation, that would be great too. Okay, until next week. Um, yeah, if you need rescuing, get a plan, get some help from those in your nest. Bye.